Matt Farrell still here with you on this Tuesday morning, continuing to track storms across central Texas. We're dealing right now with a new tornado warning. This storm heading towards Cameron right now. We're looking at an area of tight rotation. Again, right in this general vicinity, it's right around County Road 212 and County Road 470, and all this is moving off to the east-northeast. So it's tracking in the general direction of Cameron as well. And again, so as we zoom in, we're going to look for those county roads that we just talked about. It's 212 and 470. So again, it should be right in this there's 212 and there's 470. So again, we're looking right in this general spot right here, just kind of to the northeast of Tracy, southwest of Cameron, but this storm is moving northeast. So if you're in the Cameron area, potential to impact you here over the next several minutes as well. So zooming back out here, we're going to show you again Milam County. This is where we are right now. And again, this storm showing some tight rotation in this general vicinity. Again, 212 and 470. It's where you see this little notch, this little hook that you're seeing right here just to the southwest of Cameron. And so we're going to put a track on this real quick because obviously moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour, lots of folks could be impacted here, especially if it tracks towards Cameron. Again, this is in effect until 12:45. So tornado warning until 12:45 for Milam County here. So let's go ahead and track this at 40 miles per hour. So again, moving northeast at about 40. And as we put our track on it, and we're looking at this space right here, it's right in the vicinity again of County Road 212 and County Road 470. So as we kind of track this out, we're looking at Cameron 1218. The Ben Milam School there by about, we're looking at 1219, 1230 there for Maysfield, the Maysfield School 1231, Branchville 1236, Marvin 1243, 1248, Calvert, and then on towards Hearn and Elliott by 1251, 1255. So this is a tornado warning storm that is showing a fairly pronounced little area of rotation right here in this general region. It's where you see this little hook, this little claw, whatever you want to call that there. That is what we're looking at right now on the radar in terms of potentially there being some rotation, potentially tornadic rotation within this storm. So again, the last check we saw was right around County Road 212 and 470. From there, it is moving off to the northeast, so we're going to find that region again on our map. So here we are, 470, 212. So this is where we kind of noticed it just a little while ago here, kind of in rural Milam County there, just to the northeast of Tracy, and it's moving northeast, so it's kind of moving off that direction. So likely moving on towards, let's move that around, potentially County Road 219, County Road 230 there, likely north of Minerva, potentially crossing coming very close to Highway 77 there, where it meets up with 190 there, just to the northeast of Minerva. So this is a little bit more well-defined than what we were seeing earlier with the earlier Milam County storm in the Falls County storm. This one a little more put together, a little bit easier to find what we're looking for on these radar scans. Again, looking at our velocity, we do want to see again where that potential area of rotation is right now. And as we kind of switch this back here, okay, so again, we're looking just generally in this region right in here. So again, moving off to the northeast. So this was around 212, 470, moving off towards 230, 228. Those county roads kind of in the path of this storm. 190 definitely in the path of the storm where it comes out of Cameron, potentially into Cameron as well. As we put this back in motion, you're going to see it is moving off to the northeast right now. I don't want this to run for the last hour. I just want it to run the last 15 minutes here. Again, so you kind of see it right here in this little zone right here where we see, again, those reds and greens. So again, moving fairly quickly at about 40 miles per hour. Again, just potentially to the north of 77, but could impact 190 here in just the next several minutes to the next half hour. So that area of rotation that we're spotting in this storm, again, moving off towards 190, moving towards Cameron. So if you're in Cameron, you definitely need to be in that safe space. If you're in any of these areas right here, County Road 228, County Road 230, County Road 212, 470, all those areas right in here. And again, we're going to go ahead and turn off those wind particles because they are just in the way at this point. Not doing anything for us. All right, so there we go. So this is where we're looking. Again, County Road 219, County Road 218, those areas, that's where we're looking at potential rotation within this storm as it continues to move off to the northeast right now. So that's what we're dealing with. Again, I want to put another track on it just to keep everybody updated. Again, moving about 40 miles per hour off towards Maysfield, Branchville. Again, Cameron, this could clip right through Cameron. So again, make sure that you're still in your safe space there. But anywhere on this list, whether it's Maysfield, Branchville, any of those areas, definitely want to be in that safe zone of your house. So again, interior, first floor, obviously away from any windows, as many walls between you and the outside world as possible as this storm continues to move off to the northeast. Let's go ahead and change it back to our reflectivity so we can kind of get an idea of a couple other things. The other thing I want to look at too is what's happening with the hail inside of this storm. And again, the hail core well back to the southwest here. So again, not necessarily near that area of rotation we've been looking at, but it is dropping very large hail in the San Gabriel, the Thorndale area right now as well. So again, tornadic rotation potentially here, as well as very large hail, and again, strong winds. Even if there's no tornado, we're still dealing with strong straight line winds as well. So again, important that you're indoors right now, important that you're off the road right now as well, as this storm continues to move through Milam County here. Going back to our reflectivity here again, you can see that area between San Gabriel and Thorndale where that potential hail core is. And then again, that potential rotation still kind of moving northeast towards 190, towards Cameron right now. And again, as we take a look back inside of it, again, not seeing that same signature I was seeing before, but even if there's no rotation within the storm, take a look here with these wind speeds. We're talking potentially 50 to 60, maybe 65 miles per hour here along the leading edge of this particular area of activity. I'm going to step off real quick just to check and see if there's been any updates, if we have anything spotted, anything confirmed, as we continue to look. Okay. Let's see, looking at Buckholt, south of Cameron, along 219. Yeah, so area of rotation should move south of Cameron like we just talked about, but on track for that 77-190 split. A second intense storm located north of Thorndale, that's the one with the 1.5 inches, potentially 1.25 inches hail. That's the one we just looked at as well. So no updates in terms of whether there is anything spotted or not. However, again, we are still seeing those potential signs of rotation. Obviously very strong winds within the storm as well as it continues to move towards Cameron. Again, the area that we're concerned with looks like it will stay south of Cameron, but we'll be going more for that 190-77 split there as it continues to move off to the northeast. Again, moving about 40 miles per hour. So you can see right now, everything moving relatively quickly. It's made it from where we initially spotted it there about 10 minutes ago, almost all the way now to 190. So moving pretty quickly. And again, as we look through with our velocity tool here, just kind of making sure that we're looking at everything and we can kind of try and spot what we need to be spotting here. And so, yeah, there you go. So this, again, the area we're looking at, again, this is not as clean an image as the one we had before, but again, you can see, again, that area of rotation moving in this general vicinity of Cameron. If you're in Cameron, definitely need to be in that safe space. Minerva in your safe space. Obviously, we should not be traveling around Highway 190, Highway 77 at this time as the storm continues to move towards that area. So area of rotation potentially within this storm, again, moving northeast towards the 190-77 split in Milam County. And then back behind that, we are dealing with a very strong hail core within this storm back here, moving towards and just potentially past San Gabriel, towards Thorndale, and that area, not necessarily looking at the rotation, but we're looking at very large hail within the core of this storm. You can see near Detmold, just to the east of Detmold, potentially 1.5 inch hail. So again, ping pong ball sized hail possible within this part of the storm as well. So there is a lot going on right now in Milam County. Milam County, kind of the hotbed for activity as it is right now, with that tornado warning and again the severe thunderstorm warning that also accompanies it because of that large hail and that very strong straight line wind threat that we're seeing right now. All right, do want to check again our area of rotation again. Also a little bit of hail potentially moving into the Cameron Minerva area, but that is much smaller than what we're seeing back behind it. And as we go back to our velocity scans here, again, this is that area that we're looking at right here. Again, if we were seeing any sort of rotation, it's going to be just to the south of Cameron. It's going to be moving over Highway 77, Highway 190 right now. And again, even if there's no tornado, even if there's no rotating wind here, the straight line wind's also very strong. Take a look here in this core. We're seeing upwards of 70 to 75 miles per hour potentially within this storm. So very strong winds, potentially some tornadic rotation as well within the core of this storm. So we continue to track this storm as it moves again towards the 190-77 split there in Milam County. So again, a very powerful storm at this point. And again, moving off towards Hearn as well. Eventually, as it moves across 190 and 77, it's going to continue on through the rest of Milam County towards Robertson County. So that could take it off towards Hearn as well. So worth keeping on the storm for a little while as it continues to move across parts of central Texas and eventually into the Brazos Valley as well. So just to reset very quickly, this is our current setup. A lot of the line has moved out of Bell County, it's moved out of Williamson County, it's moved mostly out of McLennan County. A lot of that rain has come to an end for the time being at least, but again, very strong storms still possible across some of our southern communities, including Milam County, where we do currently see that tornado warning. Do you want to take another look here? As we continue to look at this storm, there is that area there of at least very strong winds, if not. There we go, that's what I was looking for. All right, so again, if we're seeing an area of rotation, it's just to the south of Cameron, really, again, right along that 190-77 split right there. So again, that's the area that we're looking at. You can kind of see where it tries to kind of come together there, a little bit of that claw, hook, whatever you want to call it. That's for the area where we'd be looking for any rotation. So kind of moving across 77 and 190 right now, just south of Cameron, north of Hoyt. And again, back behind all of this, we do have that very large hail core moving through other parts of Milam County as well. Strong winds all along this storm. And again, you're seeing from here all the way back towards Cameron, all these winds about 50 to 60, potentially as high as 70, 75 miles per hour we just saw there with the core in that area of rotation that we're looking at. So again, very powerful winds, very large hail. Let's move over to our hail product real quick. And you can see there along 79 moving towards Rockdale, this hail core again. It's kind of pulsed up and pulsed down, but again, still right around 1.5 inch hail. That would be ping pong ball sized hail, more likely quarter to half dollar sized, but still very large, very damaging as it falls out of the sky. So again, if you're in Milam County right now, basically, you need to be indoors, and that's all there is to it. And if you're anywhere around Cameron to, say, Hoyt, to Maysfield, to Hanover, and then off towards the Brazos River there, Branchville, Jones Prairie, you need to be definitely in your safe space at this time because this storm is showing those signs of rotation as it continues to move across parts of Milam County there, right near 77 and 190. Going to take another look at the chat real quick, so I'm going to step off the screen for 2 seconds. And again, all right, so they're looking, effectively at the same thing that I'm looking at here, just southeast of Cameron. Storm continues moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So this storm is moving fairly quickly, so it's not going to be over any one area for terribly long. But again, if you are in the Cameron area, just south of Cameron, that's where it is currently. But if you're in, say, Maysfield, Branchville, Jones Prairie, this storm is moving your direction, so definitely want to start preparing for that. Make sure you're in your safe space. Again, just to recap one more time, your safe space, when we talk about that, it's the bottom floor of your house. It is away from any windows. It's as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Some areas of central Texas, we do have a few areas with basements, not many of them, but obviously we have also independent resellers of tornado shelters. If you have one of those, obviously that's the place you want to be. But for the most part, most of us here in Texas, bottom floor of your house, interior room, no windows, and as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. So the area of circulation that we're still seeing has now moved over 77, over 190, now moving towards Maysfield. So if you're in Maysfield, again, this is the time that you need to be preparing for this storm to get there. Branchville, same story. It's on its way next. Again, should stay in this general region. I don't know that that area of rotation will reach Jones Prairie, but if you're in Jones Prairie, also be prepared for this storm as it continues to move off to the northeast as well. But all those areas, this storm is heading your direction. It is showing those signs of rotation, so potentially tornadic situation here. Nothing confirmed. This is all radar indicated at this point. We do not have confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but we are watching at least an area of rotation within this storm that is of some concern. And again, right now, sort of just to the southeast of Maysfield. Again, moving towards Maysfield, moving towards Branchville at this time as well. Also, very heavy rain. So here's the deal. If there is a tornado within the storm, then it's going to be a situation where it's likely very difficult to see just because of how much rain is falling with this storm. So with that in mind, it's not a situation where you want to go out and try and spot this thing. It's a situation where you definitely just want to be inside in your safe space and making sure that you're sheltering until this passes. And again, Maysfield up next, then Branchville, and then after that it's on towards the Brazos River. Calvert, Hearn could then potentially be in the path of this storm as well. So with all those areas, let's go ahead and put a tracker on this to kind of get an idea of what time we sort of expect this to arrive. Let's find that area of rotation one more time. And again, it's right there just to the southwest of Maysfield. And as we put a track on that, okay, so Maysfield 1227, Branchville 1234, Marvin by about 1240, Calvert 1245, Seeger by 1247, 1252. It'll be into the Elliott area. So keep that in mind. If you're in any of those areas, be in your safe space. Make sure that you are sheltering as this storm continues to approach your area. Again, I don't want to lose track of where that area of rotation is, so we're going to keep that up. I do want to double check one thing real quick. Okay, so it sounds like we have confirmation of tornado. I'm just going to double check real quick as I have that pulled up. Let's see, FM 1600. Let's change to the Austin group here. Not Fort Worth. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. So. Sheriff's office. Okay, so that came from the sheriff's office. Okay, good to know. So yeah, so again, this is right near Maysfield. And again, moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Maysfield, probably experiencing this right now, so you definitely need to be in that safe space. But if you're past Maysfield, if you're towards Branchville, towards the Brazos River, this storm will be on its way as well. So again, the sheriff's office there in Milam County reporting seeing this tornado on the ground. So that is a report from sheriff's office that there is a tornado associated with the storm, not just radar indicated at this point. So with that in mind, this will continue tracking off to the northeast if you are in the path of the storm. And let me put that path up there one more time, so that you can get an idea of if you are in the path of this storm. And I don't know what just happened. Why did it do that? Okay. All right, so again, let's put that track back on the storm, 40 miles per hour. Again, Maysfield, over the next few minutes, we're talking 1230. Potentially Branchville by 1235, Marvin 1241, and then again after that off towards Calvert, off towards Hearn as it crosses the Brazos River into Robertson County. Let me see, I'm going to try one thing. I'm going to see if we are getting any indication that there is any sort of debris field with this storm. I can do that real quick by switching this from velocity over to what we call a correlation coefficient. I don't see much there that would indicate a debris cloud of any sort. However, we can also get a little bit closer to the ground here. Yeah, I don't see anything there. We're going to continue on with the velocity because, again, that gives us the best idea of where that rotation is. So let me switch this over. We're going to switch back to our velocity mode here. I want this to stop showing up. So there we go. All right, so again, double checking this. There you can see it pretty clearly there, again, south of Maysfield. And so again, continuing to track off to the northeast. So again, this is the area that we're watching right here very closely, as if we are seeing a tornado, which again, Sheriff's Office did report seeing a tornado, then that is where it would be. Again, southwest of Maysfield, but moving off to the northeast. So if you're in Maysfield, again, probably likely already dealing with a storm, definitely need to be in that safe space. Definitely need to be taking shelter, lowest floor of your house, again, away from any windows, any sort of exterior walls. In fact, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as you can when we're in these situations. Trying to get back to, there we go. Again, just right here, now just outside of Maysfield, again, moving towards Mayfield right now, potentially moving through Maysfield. So again, let me double check. I like to check this chat occasionally just to make sure that if we have any confirmations, any spotters out there, then we can definitely pass that information on to you. But yeah, 1224 near Maysfield, so that we knew that. Okay. So again, Maysville, definitely in the path of this storm, definitely still need to be sheltering. I know we said that a little while ago, but we need to make sure that we're maintaining kind of that vigilance and that shelter in place right now as this storm continues to move across the area. Again, only moving at about 40 miles per hour. It is moving, but at 40 miles per hour, it could take just several minutes to get past your location. So with that in mind, if you're sheltering, just make sure you maintain that for a few more minutes. You can see now that area of rotation potentially moving past Maysfield. So again, if you're in Maysfield, we're getting close, but we're not quite there yet. So make sure you're staying in that safe space. And also, looks like this tornado warning is going to be extended into Robertson County. So we'll continue to see this past the Brazos River here over the next little while. In fact, there is the warning as we speak. So again, just right around Maysfield, right just south of Maysfield right now. And again, you can see that warning has been extended. Now includes Hearn, includes Franklin, likely includes, yep, there's Calvert as well. So again, this storm continues to show those tight signs of rotation, now just to the northwest of Branchville, south of Jones Prairie, continuing to move off to the northeast, so towards Calvert. If you're in Calvert right now, you need to be aware of this storm and be in that safe space. Franklin, the same story. Again, a little bit further downstream in Franklin, but again, getting closer and closer by the minute, moving at about 40 miles per hour. So as we put another track on it, we're going to continue to watch this storm. Again, Marvin by about 1237, Calvert by 1242, Seeger by 1244, Elliott 1250, towards Franklin by 1259. Now, here's the thing. It would have to hold together for another half hour to make it all the way to Franklin. We'll see if that happens or not. It's entirely possible. We've seen this hold together very tight over the last several minutes, and nothing to indicate that it wouldn't do the same over the next half hour or so. I want to put it in motion real quick so you can kind of see the direction this storm is moving. And again, moving off to the east-northeast right now. And you can see that area right there. This is a much, much cleaner image than what we got a little bit earlier out of that storm that was up in Falls County. But you can see right here that area of rotation just to the northwest of Branchville right now. So let's zoom in a little bit. Let's get you some more precise locations here. And the area that I'm looking at is going to be right over Maysfield, County Road 255 North, the 250 Loop, County Road 258, Backwoods Drive, or road there, County Road 255, and then moving towards County Road 259. So those are the areas of Maysfield, or just to the northeast of Maysfield I'm looking at. County Road 250, let's see, that's County Road 250A, County Road 258, County Road 254, County Road 249. That's the area that we'd be looking at if there's rotation within this storm. So again, if you're in that area, if you're in Branchville right now, again, the storm is just to your north, but again, it's just to the north of County Road 255. So if you're in Branchville, again, impacts from the storm are possible, so make sure that you are continuing to shelter as well. Jones Prairie, same story. I think you're going to be a little bit on the north side of things, but again, make sure that you are in that safe space as well. This storm impacting, again, eastern Milam County, about to move into Robertson County, including Calvert, Franklin, also in the path of this storm as it continues to move across the Brazos River here over the next probably 15 to 20 minutes. So that's kind of what we're watching right now. As far as the severe thunderstorm, as far as the tornado warning itself goes, we are looking at this until about 1:15. So this tornado warning in effect until 1:15. Again, still moving at about 40 miles per hour. Let me double check. Moving now northeast at 50 miles per hour, so that's even better news. And when I say better news, why I say that is because if it's moving at 50 instead of 40, any amount of seconds that the storm is not over you, obviously, is better. So again, if we get 10 more miles an hour out of the deal, that is good news because it won't be over any one place for quite as long. So that is what we're going on right now, and we have, again, this tornado warning in effect until 1:15. Again, Branchville, kind of on the southern end of it, but again, could be experiencing those impacts. So if you're in Branchville, make sure you're, again, taking that shelter. If you're in Maysfield, again, still should be in that shelter spot. At Jones Prairie shelter as well. Calvert, the storm is moving towards you next. Will likely be there in the next 15 to 20 minutes. In fact, I can give you a better idea of that as the storm is moving at 50 miles per hour. So yeah, Calvert 12:42, so a little under 15 minutes, about 11 minutes as a matter of fact, as I look at the time, 12:31. So by 12:42, we could see the storm getting all the way into Calvert. So if you're in Calvert, you got about 11 minutes here before the storm really starts to impact you as well. When I say impact you, I'm talking about the center of rotation. The storm itself, you could already be experiencing rain, strong winds in these areas, but again, our biggest concern right now does continue to be that area of rotation that is, again, just off to the east of Maysfield right now. Again, potentially impacting parts of Branchville and then moving off to the east over the Brazos River. All right, so switching back to, again, as I just talked about rainfall, I do want to switch back to reflectivity real fast just to give you an idea of how far the rain extends from the storm. Obviously, when talking about velocity, all we're talking about is wind speed. This has nothing to do with rain. This is just kind of a derived idea of how fast the winds are blowing. We do this because red means away from the radar, green means towards the radar. So where we see those two colors come together, that's what we're looking for when we talk about rotation. That's kind of our signature that we look for. It's pretty telltale usually that there is some rotation, potentially a tornado within a storm. And again, now you can see that area that we were just watching now right over the Brazos River. So again, if you're in Calvert, the storm moving towards you, again, about 50 miles per hour, so we'll be there very soon as it crosses the Brazos River. Again, if you're in Calvert, you're probably starting to see the rain pick up. If you are in that area, the wind's likely also picking up, but that area of rotation is still a little bit further to the back. I just want to take a quick, wider look real quick just to show you that if you're in Bell County, McLennan County, about half of Falls County at this point, a little bit in the clear right now. We're seeing a lot of this activity now push across. That's good news. If it moves out a little bit earlier than we thought, even better news, but we could still see some redevelopment later on this afternoon. But again, the storm that we're currently tracking is this one right here moving over the Brazos River as we speak. And again, that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to go back to our velocity scans. We're going to go back to our wind scans because I want to see if we can pick out that area of rotation again, right over the Brazos River, basically. So again, crossing the Brazos River into Robertson County right now, it looks like. So again, that area right there, you can kind of see those reds up and the greens a little bit there. And as it gets further and further away, we want to kind of change some of our radar dynamics real quick. But you can see there, as I kind of change that a little bit, that continues to be the area that we're watching. I'm going to step off real quick and see if we have any more confirmed reports with this particular tornado. Okay. Again, so if you look at it, looks like they're kind of seeing that it has weakened a little bit. It does look like it's weakened a little bit on our end as well. So that is good news. Weakening potentially, if there was a tornado on the ground, potentially not necessarily still on the ground. That would be obviously good news, but we cannot make that call. So if again you're in the path of this storm, which again I'm looking at areas like Calvert and areas along the Brazos River, those are the areas where this storm is currently moving towards. So again, just a quick reset, tornado warning in effect until 1:15 for far eastern Milam County and a good chunk of Robertson County on this storm that is currently moving basically right along the Brazos River. We're looking here, looking at County Road 259 in Milam County there, County Road 255, and then it should move over into Robertson County here over the next several minutes as well, and be looking at, okay, we're not getting road labels on any of these roads, but if you're in Calvert, this storm definitely heading your direction. Again, let me turn off these winds so we can actually see what's going on here. Again, doesn't look as strong, but again, it's right there over the river. And again, that general area there. Let me take a look here. I want to see if they're looking at the same roads that I'm looking at. east of Brainsville, north of 263 and 485. So we're looking for 264 and 485. Okay, so there's 264. And again, I don't know how long ago that report was from, but again, it looks to me like we are talking about a situation where it's right over or right near the Brazos River right now. It has weakened a little bit, so that is good news, but this tornado warning does continue until 1:15. So again, still seeing that rotation. This is actually the second time today that we've seen rotation in the Milam County area. We kind of knew that that would be the area, if we were going to see anything today, that's where it would be. But again, as we put this in motion, I want to show you something real quick. You can see that it is weakening. So the rotation was very tight there as it moved past Cameron towards Maysfield, and then you can see that it's just, you're not seeing those bright reds, you're not seeing those kind of greens wrapped in there anymore. Again, a little bit less of a good signature here that we're looking for. So that's good news. Could mean it's weakening. If there was a tornado on the ground, that could mean it has pulled up again. So that would all be good news. But again, we can't quite make that call. We are still seeing those rotational signatures within the storm. We're also still seeing hail within the storm. So again, we want to take a look at that. So we're going to go back to our reflectivity here. We're going to take a look back, see if we're still seeing those very large hailstones in parts of Milam County still. It doesn't really look like it as much anymore. Now, we're seeing more area covered by potential hail in Milam County, but at this point, we're talking dime to nickel-sized hail, which is obviously significantly better than the 1.5 inch hail we were seeing before. So, seeing things come down a little bit there. So, obviously, we've seen the rotation kind of weaken a little bit. We were seeing the hail cores weaken a little bit. So, the storm as a whole could also be weakening across across Milam County. So, that is all good news at this particular juncture. But again, this tornado warning is still in effect, so we're still going to keep an eye on it. Again, hail not necessarily as big of a concern as it was. Obviously, still, if it's falling at dime to nickel sized, it's not something you want to be outside in. It's not something you want to be traveling in. But at least the good news there is that it looks like it's come down a little bit. Again, the rotational signatures also look like they've come down just a little bit as well. Looks like more at this point straight line winds for Marvin, straight line winds for Calvert. But again, if you're in Calvert, if you're in Marvin, you still want to be in that safe space. You don't want to take the chance that our radar is misinterpreting something here. So again, as long as the tornado warning is in place, if you're in Calvert, Marvin, if you're in Elliott, go ahead and make sure you're in that safe space. If you can hear the sirens, make sure you're going to your safe space as well. And again, those sirens at this point, they will run sirens for more than just tornado warnings, but in this case, it is a tornado warning. So if you hear that siren and you have our live stream going, definitely make sure you are in that safe space, because this is a tornado warning still in effect until 1:15. I'm going to check for a couple more updates real quick. Okay. All right, sounds like Juliana Jackson and our photographer Rocky Bridges are in Cameron right now. So what are y'all seeing there?
We were just kind of in the thick of that thunderstorms you've been talking about. We actually had to pull over on and some hail, heavy wind, rain, especially heavy wind on the roads. So now we're kind of out of it, but now we're headed towards Cameron to see what's going on there. And we're still experiencing the rain, and it's covering the roads right now. About 10 minutes ago, we did experience a little bit of hydroplaning. It pulled us over towards the left on the side of the road. Okay. So again, if you have to go out on the roads, please take precautions and be safe.
Exactly, because with everything we've been talking about today, there's also still a ton of rain falling across the area. You mentioned strong winds there, Juliana. So which direction did y'all come from? Were y'all coming down 77 towards Cameron?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay, so y'all were kind of on the north side of where that rotation was. So that that again, even though we've been focusing on that area of rotation, obviously because that is our biggest concern. As Juliana just said, they're seeing very strong winds, even on the north side of the storm, heavy rain. And again, at this point, if you have to go out, if you see anything resembling a puddle on the road, I would turn around and go the other way, because we had a ton of rain, still even more rain potentially for Milam County as well. Did y'all see, Juliana, did y'all see anything resembling any of that rotation or anything like that up in the clouds? Did you see anything that kind of gave you the hint that you might have been seeing a funnel cloud or anything like that?
we kept our eyes out for it. We did not see any forming. It got really dark real quick. Waiting for those formations to start, but again, we were on the northeast side of this storm. I don't know if y'all just saw, but some emergency vehicles came by, so not sure if that's for damage or anything in the area right now.
Are y'all heading north on 77? Or are you heading south or north currently?
We are heading north towards.
Okay, so
485 to 77.
485 to 277.
Okay, so if y'all are heading north, then that emergency vehicle you just saw heading south may be heading towards, again, that area we've been talking about this whole time. So again, that's something worth keeping an eye on too. Again, Sheriff's Office did report a tornado in the vicinity of Maysfield a little bit earlier. So again, this is not just radar indicated. We actually had a spotter on this. So again, that's where those emergency vehicles could be heading. Again, I don't know that for a fact. That is speculation. But again, that is a situation where the Sheriff's Office did see a tornado. They did report it to the National Weather Service. So again, that's what we're looking at. But again, you see a lot of clearing as Juliana and Rocky are heading north. So they're kind of going to be heading kind of out of all this and then off the back side of these storms. So again, we're kind of seeing, again, this line of storms push through right now. And again, you can see for parts of Milam, most of Falls, all of Bell, all of McLennan County, starting to see that clearing. And once this line pushes through, the threat really does diminish greatly. So again, what we're seeing along this leading edge, this is where we're going to see the most severe weather. So right now, this tornado warning still in effect. Again, the last time we checked, we didn't see as good of a rotational signature, but I do want to double check again here as we take a look towards Calvert. Again, maybe just to the south of Calvert, not seeing much there, mainly strong winds. And now on our last scan, again, now I'm not seeing much of anything that indicates rotation, perhaps in this region right here, just south of Calvert. Again, let me double check, see if we have any more eyes on this in the National Weather Service chat. Okay, no eyes on it at this time in Robertson County. However, again, we continue to see this tornado warning in place until 1:15. So this storm still potentially packing a punch here with some potential rotation in the area of Calvert. So if you're in Calvert, if you're anywhere near the Highway 6, Highway 79 merge there just north of Hearn, again, that's a highly trafficked area. And I know for a lot of Texas A&M students, school ending this week for the most part, so it could be a heavily trafficked road today. I would say this, if you are leaving College Station, if you are in College Station right now and you have intention to leave College Station, I would wait. I would give it a few more hours here, let all this get past, because again, we know that 6 can get backed up. We know that 14 can get backed up. All these different things as people are leaving school, especially on these 1-2 lane rural, state highways. Again, they don't have great drainage. And if we're dealing with any amount of rotation here in the vicinity of Highway 6, that would obviously be less than ideal as well. And of course, we still do have some small hail falling behind. So again, if you are leaving A&M today and going home for the summer, then I would give it some time. We've got a few more hours. Definitely, hang out, give the dorm room one last good cleaning. Maybe have some one last lunch with your friends, maybe a dinner as well, as the Brazos Valley could be experiencing these storms a little bit longer. But right now is definitely not the ideal time to be leaving and traveling up Highway 6 as these storms come across right now. Again, near Calvert, near Hearn, rotation signatures fairly weak. But again, if we're seeing anything, it's crossing Highway 6 just down here around Calvert. Again, if you're in Calvert, if you're in Hearn, just make sure you're in your safe space. If you're in Franklin, make sure you're in your safe space as well. Again, about another half hour on this tornado warning that we continue to track through now Robertson County. Again, in effect until at last check 1:15. Double check again. Yep, still in effect until 1:15. Storm's moving at 50 miles per hour at last check. So this storm is moving very quickly. So again, the good news is it's not going to be over any one place for too terribly long, which is always ideal when you're talking about these dangerous, destructive storms. The longer they're over any good area, in any one area, the longer they're going to be able to do that damage. At this point, we are just working off of radar-indicated rotation. Again, we had the Sheriff's Office report a tornado at one point near Maysfield, but now that it's in Robertson County, again, we do not have any confirmation. We are just going off of radar-indicated rotation. And again, quarter-sized hail also possible within the storm. At last check, I didn't see anything that looked quarter-size on radar, but we can look again. Again, maybe up to nickel-sized hail within the storm potentially, but again, possible and has the capability and has the history of producing quarter-sized hail as well. So that is also worth keeping an eye on for sure. Again, let's try something real quick. Again, I'm not seeing much here, but let's change our radar site just in case. It is not, there we go. Take a look at the Houston radar. Again, so that's almost a little bit better of a picture there. Again, just to the south of Calvert right now. It's again where we see these reds and greens coming together, but it is not nearly as well defined as it was when it was back in Milam County. So that is absolutely, obviously, good news with this storm. We want it to weaken. We want it to continue to kind of fall apart a little bit, but we are still seeing those signs of rotation. So we're keeping this tornado warning in effect until 1:15. Until 1:15 is when this warning is set to expire. All right, let's see. Looking for updates. All right, so yeah. I always look for these updates for the National Weather Service because, again, we can see what we can see on radar, but with their tools as well, I always like to get that second set of eyes, and obviously we bounce ideas off each other. But it looks like they're seeing the same thing that we're seeing, and that is the weakening of this storm and the tornado threat kind of falling apart. Again, you can see some broad rotation, but the real tight couplet of rotation that we were seeing before, that has kind of dissipated from the storm. So there is a good chance we'll be able to let this tornado warning expire here in the next several minutes. So what we'll go ahead and do, we're about 4 minutes, Nancy, we're about 4 minutes out from our next cut in, right, for the 12:52, right? We're about 4 minutes out from our next cut-in, right? Okay, so what we'll do is oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to tell everybody we're going to stay right here because we're not going to send it back to programming and then come back 4 minutes later. So we're going to go ahead and keep on this storm, but just know the tornado threat with this storm is basically dissipated at this point. So we're continuing to watch it for strong winds, obviously the hail threat, and there is still a couple of signs of rotation, but it's broad rotation. Want to keep an eye on it just in case it ramps back up. But like I said, we have our next cut in here in about 3 minutes. So Nancy, was there some information you had for me? Okay, that's right. All right, so again, with that storm kind of looking a little bit weaker, we're going to take a look here at a wider look across central Texas because, again, once we get this line to come through the area, we're pretty much, our risks go way down. This is going to be the primary push of storms for the day. You can see right now 12:49, and we were looking at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock for this to get through parts of the I-35 corridor. Still has to make it through the Brazos Valley, and you can see we've already had a couple of tornado warnings here, and so that does show you that potential is still there. And in fact, they have reissued a new severe thunderstorm warning for the southern half of Milam County there, likely for strong winds and large hail, not necessarily for any sort of tornadic rotation. So again, we're dealing with very strong storms across central Texas. This tornado warning is still in effect. It's in effect until 1:15, but as we've been looking, the rotation pretty broad. If anywhere that we're looking at would give us any sort of concern, it's going to be there near Calvert, but again, on that last scan, you can see falling apart even a little bit further. So storm continues to weaken. Great news for sure. But again, we're still continuing to watch storms behind this one that could continue to cause problems as we get through the rest of the morning. Tornado threat obviously is first and foremost when we get into these situations, but the other threat that we definitely need to talk about here is the rain that has fallen with all these storms. So the good news is we've seen most of the rain kind of move out of Falls County, Bell County, and Williamson County, but you see these flash flood warnings still in effect. A lot of rain falling over Bell County today, over Falls County, and especially over Williamson County. So anywhere that we have low water crossings, I know Whitney sent us a little bit of video of some of the low water bridges there in Salado. Definitely not an ideal situation to be driving in, and I always say if you see standing water of any sort. It doesn't matter how deep it looks or how deep it is, you can never tell, and it only takes 6 inches to move a car. So in these conditions, we always say just find an alternate route. Don't try to drive through any sort of flooded roadways. Don't try to go around any barricades, any police cars that are blocking roads, anything like that. Just make sure you are staying on those alternate routes. So that is what we've got going on right now. I'm going to talk to our control room again. Hey, Nancy, if you could just kind of let me know when our cut-in starts, and then count me down from 5 minutes from there, and then we'll send TV back to programming after that. I can go to 1 o'clock. Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to go straight through till 1 o'clock because this tornado warning is still in effect till 1:15. I think for the most part the tornado threat has diminished out of this storm. We're keeping an eye on it just in case we see any sort of redevelopment. But we'll stay with you here for the next several minutes, and this will also give us an opportunity to actually go through our forecast for the day as well, which we have not been able to do as we've seen multiple tornado warnings come across central Texas today. So we're going to start off with a quick wide view here of everything that's going on. All of this activity moving from west to east generally. All of our storm motions have had a little bit of that northeasterly component, but for the most part, this whole system moving from west to east across central Texas. You can see it's impacting parts of the DFW Metroplex all the way down to San Antonio, where they're seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Again, you notice the storms themselves are moving northeast, but everything is moving off to the east. So we'll move through central Texas here, and theoretically, we could see this main push of storms move through central Texas in the next couple of hours. So we could be out of the clear of this particular batch by about 3 o'clock. Behind that, we're not going to see a whole lot of development. Could keep a chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast through the end of the day, but ultimately, once this main push gets through, we're seeing everything kind of wind down after that. So that's good news. One, because obviously of the severe weather threat that we've been dealing with all day long, and two, because we need a break from the rain. I know that sounds so weird to say. We still need more rain. Obviously, we're still in drought conditions. However, you can't get it all at once. It's just going to lead to flooding problems. The water runs off. It doesn't soak into the soil. It doesn't do us any good if we see all of 5 or 6 inches in one day. What we need is a couple of inches here, get a break, a couple more inches. So we're going to see everything start to move off, and we'll get that break, get that rain a chance to kind of start soaking in. As far as the main concern that we've had over the last, say, hour or so, it's been this storm that moved up from Williamson County into Milam County. At one point, Sheriff's Office reporting that there was a tornado on the ground with this one. But as far as what we're seeing right now, that rotation falling apart a little bit, broad rotation there right around the Calvert, Hearn area, around Highway 6, but really nothing like what we were seeing before. It is loosened, it is weakened, it is broadened out. And so the tornado threat there is not necessarily there right now. However, what we are seeing, again, are some strong straight line winds with this storm. So if you're in the Hearn area, the Bald Prairie area, we could be talking winds of 45 to 55 miles per hour blowing out of this storm. So again, strong winds still possible, even if that tornado threat is weakening. We are still dealing with damaging winds, especially if you have any sort of patio furniture, if you're out driving. Obviously, we've been telling people all morning to maybe delay travel a little bit, because again, these winds can definitely blow you off the road a little bit. I do want to point this out, is we have not seen the tornado warning extended, but we have seen a new severe thunderstorm warning issued until 1:45, and this includes Freestone, Leon, Limestone, Robertson counties. So basically the entire leading edge of storms here, with the potential for some very gusty winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour at times, and then potentially they're seeing quarter-sized hail as well. So here's our velocity scanner. You can see some of those areas of those stronger winds that we're dealing with, but also I want to take a look at the hail within this storm as well. And again, primarily right now, the main hail core we're dealing with is back towards Rockdale, but you can see some hail falling from Thornton to Ridge as well. This is going to be more of that nickel-sized hail, but again, back towards Rockdale, potentially 1-inch hail falling in that part of the storm as well. So a couple of different hail cores still with this storm. Wind along the leading edge, 50 to 65 miles per hour. So again, still very strong. Even if there's just the one isolated tornado threat, still plenty of wind, plenty of hail to deal with, and lots of rain as well. So as you look up towards Groesbeck, Thornton, we don't see a flash flood warning issued for this area of Limestone County or Freestone County or really Leon or Robertson either. But in this zone, again, we're seeing lots of heavy rain falling, and as this storm continues to push across, issues with flooding could become a concern, especially along the Navasota River there. as it flows out of Groesbeck and down towards where it creates the border there between Robertson and Leon counties. So that is an issue as well. Putting this in motion, everything's moving fairly quickly at about 30 miles per hour across the area, so it continues to push off at a decent clip here. So that's good news, because if it was moving any slower, we would be dealing with even more concerning flooding situations. So as it stands right now, flooding, yes, is an issue, but with it moving, at least that lessens the threat just a little bit. But again, leading edge of the storm, strong winds, large hail, the one isolated tornado threat. Again, I haven't seen much from this storm recently that would give me pause when it comes to tightening up with that rotation. Still looks pretty broad across again, Calvert, Hearn, Franklin, those areas. Let me switch to a different radar here. Okay, so if we're going to be seeing anything right now, it's going to be probably right along Highway 79 towards Franklin. That would be the area that would be showing up as potential area of rotation. Let me double check here real quick and see if we're seeing anything from that area as well. All right, in the last 5 minutes, yeah, little notch between Franklin and Hearn. So they're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. As we switched from the Houston to the Killeen radar, again, you can see, again, with a little bit of a notch here just in our velocity scan. So that would indicate if there is rotation, that's likely where it is. Again, we have about 18 minutes left on this tornado warning, likely to be allowed to expire here as we approach that time period. Again, a little bit there. It's not screaming at me that there's likely a tornado coming out of the storm, but it is possible that if you're in that area that we are seeing that rotation, if you're in Franklin, just make sure that you are hunkering down in that safe space. Again, the lowest level of your house, away from any windows, and again, in the interior of the house. And as we put a track on this, again, still moving at about 50 miles per hour. We're looking at Franklin, the high school there by about 12:58. Same story with the middle school. Reynolds Elementary School by about 1 o'clock. Franklin, the city proper there by about 1 as well. 1:09, we're looking at Easterly Ridge by 1:15 and the Marquez by 1:23. So again, if it holds together that long, we'll be looking at Ridge and Marquez being kind of next in line on this storm. But for right now, the concern is with Franklin. So if you're in Franklin right now, we need to be in those safe spaces. Obviously, the high school, the middle school, they have their procedures. But if you're in your home, again, you want to be in the interior of your house on the lowest floor that you have. If that's a basement, that's ideal. For most of us, that is not an option. So again, lowest level of your house, interior room, away from any windows, and again, with as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Our forecast looks like this. Again, so once we get this initial push out of here, we're looking at about 1 o'clock right now. You're going to notice that behind this line of storms, there's really not a whole lot of activity that's going to develop behind them. So that's good news. And by the time we get to about 4 o'clock, we get these storms over towards the I-45 corridor. We're having them out of here by 5 or 6 o'clock. So by the time we're done with 6 News at 5 and 6 News at 6, we're done with the storms at that point for most of Central Texas. Maybe a lingering shower or two down for the Brazos Valley, but most of us are starting to clear out at that point. And as we head into the evening, a pretty decent Tuesday evening ahead for you as well. We do have the watches and warnings still, though. The severe thunderstorm watch still in effect for our northeastern counties. That tornado watch still in effect until 4 o'clock for most of central Texas, though. We will likely, though, start to see some of these counties get shaved off this watch as we go through the rest of the afternoon, though, as that threat continues to pass off to the east. Again, take one more look at your radar. Again, where that area of circulation is. Again, just right around, at last check, right around Franklin. But again, looking like it's a little less well-defined than it was before. And again, this tornado warning does expire here in about 15 minutes. Let's take one more look, kind of a wide look at the area. And again, this storm complex moving off to the east, clearing behind it. But we'll keep everything going on 6+. For now, though, if you're watching us on TV, we're going to go ahead and send you back to your regular programming.